Here we are. It is only Thursday. We are still 2 days away, except I'm fired up, ready to go, as the Minnesota Vikings have their work cut out for them on Saturday as they travel to Santa Clara, which is not San Francisco, to take on the Vikings-49ers. Actually, yeah, I'm having a hard time just trying to talk trash about the Niners because I actually respect them. I like Kyle Shanahan. I like Jed York. I like the Niners organization overall, but I don't know. It's way different than the Saints. It's way different than, when the Vikings play the Packers in the NFC title game, if those jabronis get that far. I'm digging the bottom of the barrel looking for trash talk, but whatever. Niners are the 1 seed for a reason. Respect. Second in the NFL in scoring, 7th in points allowed. It's going to be a tough road to hoe, but you know who are the biggest hoes in the NFL? Minnesota Vikings. That's right. So here are 5 keys to victory against the Niners on Saturday. Now, before we rumble, a new way to support the channel memberships. Just launched it. And again, it's not for everyone. It's not going to affect our normal free content here on the channel. But you want to support some non-stream media, some rebel media, if you will, unless you want everything to become first take and canned takes and fake debates, all that stuff. Nah. So click that join button below the video to find out how you can become a true Jerome and support the channel. There we go. So key number 1, beating the Niners on Saturday. Contain George Kittle. Hey, diddle, George Kittle ain't going through the middle or the outside or deep, whatever. And we talked about earlier in the week, it's going to be easier said than done, but also the Vikings did it to a large degree with Michael Thomas. And George Kittle is the best tight end in football. Also, he mainly plays in line because he's the best blocking tight end in football as well. Hashtag blessed. Stupid Iowa tight ends. But just get after him like you get after a normal tight end. You got to chip him. You got to body him. Never let him get a free release. So it's a big game for Daniil, Everson, Afadia, and Steve Weatherly, as well as use Sendejo, use Curse, use Barr on him in man-to-man. We even hypothesized, like, hey, Kendricks against George Kittle, we would like that matchup. It'd be okay. And also I trust Anthony Harris over the top. Make someone else beat you, although I do worry about Debo. Debo Samuel is freaking legit, but it is what it is. Next up, key number 2 for the Vikings to beat the Niners: get interior pressure on JIMMYGG. JIMMYGG, just like most quarterbacks, are a different animal once they're pressured, but the drop off between Jimmy Garoppolo when he's pressured as opposed to when he's not pressured, it's monstrous, right? And Zimmer saw an opening last week with the Saints interior offensive line. There's like, So Terran Armstead is a Pro Bowl left tackle, even though Everson got the best of him. Ryan Ramczyk is all-pro right tackle, even though Danielle Hunter got the best of him. Let's attack that middle. And that's why Hunter and Everson spent an inordinate amount of time inside against the Saints. And I think that they'll approach the Niners in a similar fashion, where the Niners, they have 2 extremely solid tackles. Mike McGlinchey is coming to his own, one of the better right tackles in the game. Joe Staley still has a little bit of meat on the bone. But also, that interior center, Weston Richburg, who's very solid in his own right, he's out for the year. Replacement Ben Garland is a slappy. And then guards, Mike Person on the right and Laken Tomlinson on the left, who we remember from Detroit, have combined for 60 pressures, 4 sacks, and 7 penalties on the season. So there's a couple of yum-yums in there. That guard-center guard combination, I think it's a great spot, whether they're manufacturing pressure, whether they're blitzing, whatever. Just get that quick interior pressure, get in Jimmy's face. Also will help shut down the run game. Just get after it. Key number 3 for the Vikings to beat the Niners on Saturday: rested Dalvin. Banged up Dalvin needs to tear it up. Right, Dalvin, he's not injured, he's banged up, he's whatever, but he's as healthy as he can be at this point of the year. And the offensive line, low-key heroes, by the way, of the Saints game. They're on point. They are hungry, and the Niners have the best pass defense in the NFL, only allowing 4.8 net yards per attempt. Woo! It's really good. But also they are middling against the run, 17th in the NFL, giving up 1,802 yards rushing on the ground this season. And giving the ball to Dalvin, going with the outside zone, keeping Kirk Cousins clean, giving him play action, all of that stuff, it's going to be key, as well as that Dalvin-Fred Warner matchup is going to be a heavyweight fight, where we talk about how underrated Eric Kendricks is, even though he finally got his due from the AP voters. Thank you. But Fred Warner, for the Niners, he's one of the best linebackers that you've never heard of. So respect that man. But I think Dalvin is going to get the best of him, especially if you get Dalvin one-on-one against him in coverage. And I think Dalvin needs 150 total yards from scrimmage this year. Well, not this year, on Saturday for the Vikings to get it done. Key number 4 for the Vikes to win on Saturday: exploit the Kubiak-Shanahan relationship. Yeah, that's right. Just work it. Like, the only person who knows Kyle Shanahan better than Gary Kubiak is Mike Shanahan, his daddy, right? So Gary Kubiak is also Basically, his football daddy. Kyle was Gary's coordinator for 2 years, spent 4 total years on his staff down in Houston when Gary was running the Tejans. And he's been in those late night meetings. He knows how Kyle thinks about things. He knows some of Kyle's tendencies, all that stuff. And Kubiak and Zimmer need to get together, mind meld, and exploit that relationship and use that knowledge to great effect for the Vikings defense. And I actually think that it does give the Vikings defense a big edge, where not only do you have all the film, but you're also playing against 2 head coaches, one of whom is a Super Bowl winning head coach who knows you inside and out. So I think advantage Vikings there. And as we talked about early in the week, I think it is more valuable than the Shanahan-Cousins connection, because everything you get from Cousins besides, how his farts smell, like you can get from tape. It's like, Kirk Cousins, if you disrupt the patterns and he goes off script or you pressure him, he is bad. Yeah. Cool. Also, I mean, the Shanahan-Kubiak reverse engineering that relationship, it's going to be a little bit different because this is Stefanski's offense. Like, sure, a lot of Kubiak concepts as well as philosophy are in there, but this is Kevin Stefanski's baby. So, but it's a big spot for the Vikings, big edge, in my opinion, that no one's talking about except for us. Lastly, key number 5 for the Minnesota Vikings, get a win in Santa Clara against the San Francisco 49ers. Have Cousins throw to the left. Yeah, like full-on reverse Mitchell Trubisky Ponder, because here's the thing about the Niners. They play sides for their cornerbacks. Now, Richard Sherman lives on the left side of the defense, a.k.a. the right side of the offense, just like he did in Seattle, and here's what he is. He's phenomenal playing sides. He's phenomenal dropping into zone. He's all that stuff. He's back to being an all-pro. Respect. Respect that man. And even though I believe in Stephon Diggs, I think Diggs could get the better of Richard Sherman. It's like Stephon Diggs did cook him last year, week 1, historic U.S. Bank Stadium. But, of course, that was Richard Sherman right after coming off the Achilles injury. So it's like, okay, now here's the thing. Do you want to get in a measuring contest, or do you want to try and get blood from a stone, even though you could just go to the other side and pick on K'Wan Williams or Mosley or Witherspoon or any other cornerback not named Richard Sherman? Wouldn't you rather do that? Because here's what you do. You put Olabisi Johnson over on the right side of the offense, the left side of the defense, make him the sacrificial lamb, and then bunch up Diggs and Thielen on the left side of the offense, and then keep exploiting the right side of the Niners defense until they stop you, or they start moving Richard Sherman around, which could also already be in the game plan, but also they're moving him from a spot where he feels most comfortable. So if you're going to do that as well, I think that's a big advantage for the Vikings. So now, just have Kirk Cousins doing the reverse ponder. Just there we go. Until they decide to try and stop you. Prediction time. Feeling fine. I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be a very entertaining game. But also, I think Kirk Cousins, he's got a little bit of that magic going on. He's just got a little bit of that. You like that. Showing the national media wrong. And I think he gets it done. I think the Vikings, that defense brings it yet again. The offensive line holds up. Dalvin Cook just runs the piss out of the football against the Niners. Give me Vikings 27, Niners 23, and we're on to the NFC title game. Whether it's Green Bay, whether it's Seattle, long hair, don't care. Let's friggin' go. All right, let us know your final score prediction down in the comment section, as well as subscribe. You want to support the channel, also join. Sure, why not? Also, so support the work, Venmo, plus goes to follow on social media as well. Let's get going. But until next time, Skull, production value.